Hey, it's your pal Terry Bean, and I am back with another fun episode of Business Growth Time. Today, we are joined by the one and only Matt Giovanisci, and it's one and only because he's pretty sure that there's really just one and only. But before we get into who he is and what he's about, let me introduce you to the lovely, the talented, the leading lady in social media. I think Mari Smith has been calling her lately to talk about Facebook, Miss Janet E. Johnson.
Yeah, thanks.
What's
Yeah,
up, man?
fun.
The E standing for everywhere, because I keep seeing you in there everywhere lately. You're just like bouncing around and doing stuff, kid.
Bouncing around. Yeah, you gotta be everywhere. Yeah, I'm actually in talks with Egypt right now, so I'm hoping to end up in Egypt again too.
Egypt
We shall
again.
see.
And the other E word, Alabama.
Oh.
I heard.
Traveled to Alabama. They have really big bugs. That's the downfall to Alabama. They have really big bugs.
You're from Minnesota and talking shit about someone else's bugs. That's impressive.
We have mosquitoes, which are awful, but yeah.
Yeah, but by like the gazillions, right? So it's like a swarm. Like all the mosquitoes basically live there. So it's weird that there hasn't been a bigger malaria outbreak in Minnesota now that I think about it.
It's true. There's been a couple though. Yep.
All right. Well, let's not talk about like horticulture and bugs.
Gross.
It doesn't make any damn sense at all. Let's talk about Matt Giovanisci, whose last name I am appropriating from now on because it's got that really cool Italian sound. Matt was, West Philadelphia born and raised, and in Boulder he now spends most of his days. So kind of excited.
Look at making rhymes and everything. Wow.
Will Smith stuff. It's easy. So web guy, right?
Yeah.
Affiliate marketing, been doing the whole online thing for years. Swim University, helping people do cool stuff, but selling stuff on Amazon, producing sound. He's Money Lab. There's so many different things to talk about that I'm not even sure that I could properly introduce you. So let's just dive into it. Tell us, Matt. Hello. Say hi to the people. Say hi to Ernie.
Was that pun intended?
Hey, take in, man. Take it. If you're going to dive and you're going to have a pool thing, yeah, always.
So North Philadelphia, born and raised. Just to be accurate.
Oh, is that a thing? Like we're prestigious West Bloomington. Is that like the
Yeah,
thing?
North Philadelphia for sure.
Okay.
He's like, man, don't. So is that, wait, you don't want to be associated with West Philadelphia?
No, just being accurate.
Just being, okay, you're just being honest.
I usually associate myself when someone asks me I'm from Philadelphia. I was technically raised in South Jersey, so right over the bridge, but born in North Philly.
North Philly. I like that, man. I like that. That's kind of cool. And you're in the People's Republic of Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good. We were talking about Ann Arbor the other day. I live probably 30 minutes from Ann Arbor, which is the People's Republic of Ann Arbor. And, I don't know that you're going to find too many places more liberal than Ann Arbor, but Boulder's on the short list.
It is the most liberal, isn't it?
I think
it's won several awards for that.
I think it might have. So, good, man. That's very cool. All right, so business. Let's talk. What do you do? Why do people care that you do it? How do you serve others? Let's start with that.
All right. Well, I guess the first thing I've ever done is Swim University. I was in the pool industry since I was 13. Worked at a pool store and got a paycheck somehow. I don't know how. That's very young. Child labor laws aside.
That's a very good point. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really don't know how I was getting a paycheck. But
working in Egypt, evidently.
Yeah. South Jersey, I guess. So I would work there and teach adults how to take care of their own property. So imagine like coming into a store and you're an adult man, and this 13-year-old boy, this prepubescent young male, is trying to teach you about pool chemistry, and you're like, I don't get it, man. Can you just come over? Give me a lot of power.
Let me ride my bike. I'll be right.
Yeah,
Totally.
Right. Yeah.
My pool was green half the summer, just FYI.
Yeah,
I can't figure it out still.
Yep. So, and that's basically, I've been doing that from 13 to 25. So that whole time I was working at about 3 different pool stores And even in that time, and I had moved up from being like, just a stock boy to a water tester to a assistant manager. Then I managed a store in a retail department at one company. And then I got moved up into marketing because there was a point where I was in a rock band and we needed a website and we couldn't afford it because we were an original rock band. We weren't a cover band. And I basically just took books, and in the winters in South Jersey are very cold. And so there's not a lot of pools open. So I had a lot of free time in the off season to just read HTML books and start on Notepad and just like make a website. And so I did that for my band, and I did it at work. And then I got in trouble from my boss, who was like, "What are you doing? You're just working on your own website." And I was like, he's like, "Well, you made this?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Okay." And then like came back and hired me as their website designer and then moved me up into their marketing department. So basically I did that until 25, and I decided to marry the two worlds, my website design skills and my pool knowledge that I had. And it wasn't like I did a bunch of research. It wasn't like I knew what the hell I was doing. I just wanted to build a website, and I knew affiliate marketing was a thing. And then I knew banner advertising was a thing. And so in my head, I'm like, those are my two, monetary strategies. And that's basically how it started. It was in 2004. I had the idea, and it probably didn't get off the ground because of my laziness till 2006.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like when you start thinking about something, but like it's so good that you just have to marinate on it.
Well, and here's the thing. I got my bass player at the time. He basically got really mad at me because I said, I kept saying, I have this site, some university. It's going to be so awesome. It's going to be huge. Like, it's going to be this thing. And he goes, "Okay, well, it's been 2 years. Like, when the fuck are you going to do it?" And I was like, and then I kind of gave me a kick in the ass that I need it. And then I went and did it. And then it took about 7 years after that before it finally became a full-time thing. Because mostly it was all trial and error. I was, I had studied a lot. Like at the time I was learning how to build a website, learning how to grow traffic. And that was my first goal, was to just get as much traffic as humanly possible, because I knew that no one's going to buy banner advertising from me if I don't have traffic. And I'm not really going to make money on affiliate marketing if I don't have traffic. And I wasn't interested in doing e-commerce because I'm just a guy in an apartment, just me. I didn't have drop shipping, just never sounded like I don't want to deal. I did customer service for the first 15 years of my life. I'm not, doing it more. And so I just went with like those two strategies, and I figured I'd create some sort of digital product at some point. And that is essentially what I ended up doing. But it was really tough because I was studying SEO. I was doing all this work, and I had hit a couple of roadblocks through just education. I would go, at one point, I was part of this education group and that I had paid monthly for. And it was during a time where black hat SEO was kind of okay. Like, keyword stuffing was kind of like the black hat, right? Like, oh no, we don't do keyword stuffing, but spinning articles, let's do that shit, because that's still working. And ended up getting a lot of traffic, through this. What I would do, honestly, would sit there, and the website, I liked two things. I liked traffic, and I liked building a website. So I was really good at tweaking the website, making it look good, making it function well. And then I was really good at building traffic, and I wasn't really good at creating content, which I think is the bridge. So what I would do instead of creating good content was I would create a lot of shitty content. And I had a spreadsheet, and this is what I was taught to do. And I'm not giving any, that was what everyone was doing at the time. I just had a call with my buddy for our Money Lab podcast, and he was telling me that Pat Flynn used to do the same thing. And I was like, oh, okay. So this is, not everyone's perfect. But
so you're saying these results may vary in 2019, right? So we have
you don't do them. Yeah, right. You don't do them anymore. But
I know. I was doing some of those strategies too. Yeah.
I would basically do like Unique Article Wizard, which was
Yeah.
I would write one crappy article and then mix around sentences to make more crappy articles that I could submit to crappy article directories and get backlinks to my crappy posts. So I got a lot of traffic, and then I lost it all when Panda or whatever Penguin hit.
Yeah.
And so like at that point, I found Corbett Barr with Fizzle, and I ended up just writing good. I started like, I didn't go to college because of I'm not smart. And I didn't have a lot of money either. And so and I remember I failed every English class in high school. I wasn't good at it. I actually failed graphic design in high school, and that's both of those things funny. I do now for a living.
Yeah.
Is like the two classes that I failed. So anyway, I tried to go to college, didn't work out, got in a fight with an English teacher. So wasn't good at English. And then decided that I just had to learn English later in life and get better at writing, because that's really the only way to grow traffic. And I started writing content. I started filming videos. I started just focusing like less on the outside link building stuff and more on just the content itself that I was providing customers on my website. And that worked and has continued to work. And in fact, like there was a year where I had stopped doing it altogether. I just literally didn't do it. And yet my business still grew. And the reason I think that is, and the reason I continue to practice that, and the reason I continue to teach that is because it's timeless. It's a timeless technique, which is just make really good stuff. Google's going to get smarter, and they're going to and it's going to find and want to serve up that relevant content to customers. That's really all SEO is. Now, I think the only other difference is that I started I did know a little bit of SEO, so I was able to marry this this new content creation strategy with the idea that I knew technical SEO. So I knew how to make the search engines happy, and I knew how to make readers happy. And so those two, having those two skill sets, and they are skill sets. And then the third is the website design. All three of those, you can grow a very, very high trafficked website in a very specific industry and then make money from that.
Niche down, you're saying, very niched.
Yeah. And it's funny because I didn't have that, that wasn't I knew that was a mantra, and it still is a mantra. I just chose pools because that's what I was doing. It wasn't like I was looking for an opportunity I wasn't looking for like that cool niche opportunity with all those like rich, low hanging fruit keywords. I know this stuff. And then it just turns out it happened to be a really good one, but I've done it in coffee. I've done it in home brewing, and those, coffee is not really one of those, super specific niches.
No, it's not. No.
But I did well in it. So let's
break this down a little more. Okay. So first off, you talked about affiliate marketing with Amazon. Is that where the money is being made on these websites?
70% of it. Yes. Okay.
So we're talking Amazon affiliate marketing, but let's back up to some of the things you said. Because let's get the audience to learn what you're doing, kind of thing. How often are you posting content on your good content now is what you're saying? So you're talking probably a blog, I'm guessing?
It's a WordPress
most
site.
of the time. WordPress blog. Okay.
Yep.
And how often are you doing a blog?
So we produce, right now we're doing one new piece a week and one updated piece a week. So the way that I look at my website,
cool.
I don't look at my website as an ongoing blog where we just keep creating content. I look at it as a giant online textbook for pool owners. And so that textbook gets updated every year. Sometimes pages don't get updated. Some other things get added. And so the way I look at it is it's a giant resource, and we don't have to create new stuff unless like, for example, if a new pool cleaner comes to the market, we're not going to create an entirely new article for that pool cleaner. We're going to update the article that talks about all the pool cleaners and update those pieces.
That's cool. That makes sense. Well, easier with pool cleaning than social media. But
but if you have social media. Right. But for example, if you have like a giant post on just, I don't know, like the complete guide to Facebook ads, right? Instead of making a new article called The Complete Guide to Facebook Ads 2019, you just go back and update that old one to make it for that.
That's totally making sense. It does. Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. And I think that's right there a great tip.
I mean, it's the best part about the internet, right? It's like, it's the difference between publishing a magazine and publishing a textbook. You know, a magazine, you get to do new content all the time, it's just a constant churn. You're doing it forever. If you stop producing a magazine, the company stops making money. But you can stop producing textbooks and still sell textbooks.
I remember that from elementary school because that was like in the 1950s, right?
Yeah.
We didn't even know how the Korean War ended when we were in high school.
I don't know how the Korean War ended.
Oh my God, I don't have a clue.
I also didn't go to college, so.
Well, and now the textbooks my kids have iPads, so they don't get textbooks.
So even easier to update, right? Less printing.
Totally.
And
that's
the way,
the way you're looking at your website. Exactly. Yeah. So you have your website.
Hold on. Shannon,
Yep.
Before you ask that question, so do me a favor, remember it. I'm curious because I was going to ask you before you asked him, how often are you adding blogs to your website?
Which one?
No, I'm asking Janet.
If I can do every 2 weeks, I'm happy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm trying to get to every month again. So
it's bad. I mean, it's bad, but but we also see the one thing is we also have two different, and you have this too, Matt, where you have multiple websites.
Yeah, and I have
so you got a lot to handle. Yeah, so and I do have a team too, but it's just I like to write my own blog posts, but
I have an editor-in-chief who works for my company. Yeah, and
that's going to make a big difference. Yep.
Yeah, she's in charge. Actually, she's in charge of swim university. I can't even go in and touch anything. And that's our rule together is I have to ask her permission before I touch anything.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's great. There you go. But so when I did consistent every 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. I really saw a difference with the traffic for sure. So, I mean, I love your tip that you just said, because for me, I think what I could handle doing is one blog post every 2 weeks and every other week doing an update.
Yeah.
So I think, I'm trying to think of realistic for people out there too. If you have a podcast, and a lot of people do their podcast as their blog too.
Yeah.
And I think that's another way to get content too.
Yeah. I do a podcast every week, and I consider that more like it's a weekly radio show. It's live. It's not, I don't consider what I do evergreen, even though we try to do it in evergreen, but we're not going to go back and update podcast episodes. We're just going to do them weekly, like the Daily Show. But that's a different type of content. It's very easy for me to hit record on this microphone. And then again, I have a team, so it's easier for me, but I used to do all of this stuff. So we would batch for podcasts. We would do, and we still do this. On Thursdays is podcasting day. That's all I do. And I sit down and we do about 4 episodes. And then that Thursday night, I edit all the episodes, upload them to our hosting company, and publish them. That's what I used to do. Now there's people that help me. But one day, it's all one day. That is my job, to do podcasts.
Batching is the best thing in the world.
And I practice this thing of I do a lot of frictionless processing in anything that I publish or do. And what that means is I look at the process. I do one episode and I'll do it all the way soup to nuts, and I'll write down every step that I do. And then I look at those steps later and I go, okay, well, how can I make that faster? Or how can I eliminate that step? And I do that every month. I re-look at the process and figure out, well, how do I do that quicker? How do we eliminate that step? One of the steps, as an example, in just doing video production every week, is we have a audio file and a video file, right? And so my editor has to, or used to be me, would have to marry those two things up. It's very simple. It takes a couple of seconds. You highlight, double click, whatever. But if it doesn't go right, there's all these other steps you have to take. But there's this whole section that maybe takes a minute at most. And so it's well, how do we not have to do that? How do I just import one file instead of importing 2 files? And you just, you may not moment, but you write that down and you can say, this is a part of the process that we can, either remove or eliminate, or, lubricate a little bit.
Got it. Yeah. Got it. I like it.
And same with blog posts. It's same with writing. There's, we have a formula now. We have a template for how we write and how we produce content.
Got it. Yeah. And that's great. Yeah. Processes. Big time, it sounds like.
And I learned that, 12 years down the road. It wasn't like I started that way. I barreled through everything and trial and everything. And now I'm like, okay, I want to do so many things. I do have multiple websites. I do video. I do 2 podcasts. I do a YouTube show.
It's kind of life. I mean, we all have to do it, but if you have the processes, it makes it all easier to get done.
Yeah. And obviously if it's making money too, that's it's easier to take a step back and focus on it.
That's true.
Process idea is very novel to me. You should have processes is what I'm hearing. Sort of take it away. Oh,
obviously, I'm the one that set up the processes for the podcast. Terry just shows up. But
system, is that a word?
System. Yeah.
I am system. I am definitely.
There you go.
And I did go to college, and maybe I should have went to a different college.
Like an engineering college.
Yeah, there you go.
For systems,
processes and systems. I mean, it really does make a difference with your content, with pushing out the content. And having the goal set. The one thing is, as an entrepreneur, I mean, honestly, last month I only blogged once, and I got away with that because who do I answer to? Who do I get in trouble with?
Sure.
Myself. So it's one of those things where if you have the process in place and I have people that work for me, they kind of get on my case about it, but I'm like, well, whatever, they're like, where's the blog post? I'm like, but I want to get back to, I love all this. Okay. So we're getting processes, we're talking about blogging, and then we brought up affiliate marketing with the Amazon. So I want to get back to that core piece. And what kind of traffic are you bringing in on your website by doing the 1 blog post a week? Going back, 1 blog post a week, and then how often do you do the update?
Once a week.
So you're doing kind of 2 things in 1 week.
Kind of 2, sometimes 1. Yeah, depending on the time of year.
Okay.
Just for the audience, especially this guy sitting here, updating actually notifies Google that there's been a change, so Google sees that as new content, or what's the point of updating, especially if it's kind of evergreen content?
So the point of updating is one, I changed the date, so the date's fresh, and so Google does like fresh content.
Got it.
It gives you a little bit of a boost. It helps the customer because it's relevant information, and it helps Google because Google only wants to serve relevant information. So it keeps you, even if you're number 1 in Google, it keeps you number 1, right? Because it's telling Google that you care about your old content and the content that's actually ranking. You want to stay relevant to them. And for us, we find new keywords. Like we're constantly doing keyword research. We're looking at new trends coming to the industry, or like something just popped. All of a sudden, everyone's searching for saltwater pools. Weird. Why is that? Do we already have an article where we can incorporate the word saltwater into the article without creating something new and then having that article rank?
That brings in a great question. So you're completely changing the keyword then too when you update the article?
Sometimes we consolidate posts. Sometimes we flat out delete posts. We, like I said, we are a textbook company.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Okay. So you're actually changing out keywords completely if you need to. Okay.
Sometimes. Yep. Or maybe we targeted one keyword when we first wrote the article. We find that actually, it's not spa chemicals, it's hot tub chemicals that people are looking for. Okay. Let's go back into that post, and we'll still keep the word spa chemical because that's relevant, but maybe we change the title to, hot tub chemicals because that's the word that people are searching for. And obviously the word spa and hot tub are interchangeable. And so we look at it to stay relevant. And that's really what it's about, because we do rank, we're a bigger site now. So we rank fairly quickly when we do post new content, and then our job is to stay there, and if somebody comes along and tries to beat us, well, we'll look at that and go, well, what are they doing different? What did they add? Let's look at what they're doing and, obviously try to outrank them. Cool. It's just on top of it. I mean, it's really just like, again, it's every year. And there's a point at the end of this year, we're kind of thinking Swim University is complete. It's a complete textbook. And from here on out, we may only update posts and we may not add new posts, or maybe 1 post a year. If again, the industry is kind of like, nothing that we can't add to a post that already exists. Yep. Because it might be some like tertiary keyword that's small, maybe gets like 250 searches, maybe 500 searches. It's like whatever. But we can actually incorporate that into an article that's already ranking. And now we're ranking for 2 keywords rather than just one for the same article.
I like it. I like it.
It's a different way to think about it.
So your income, let's talk about where you're earning your money, is only affiliate Amazon on that, or is there other income on the website?
Yeah, so 70% of it is probably Amazon Associates, so the Amazon affiliate program. And the other 30% is I have 2 digital products. I have a product, I have a video course and ebook combo that talks about pool care, and I have a video course and ebook combo that talks about hot tub care. And they're both $49 each.
Okay.
And they sell them, you know, if you're reading a hot tub article, you're being pitched the hot tub stuff. If you're reading a pool article, you're being pitched that. And so, and then we have an email list that we send out, you know, every week. We send a newsletter out, and we have videos that we do, and that all of those things promote the digital products.
Okay.
And on the website itself, like within the articles, I developed software, which is called Get Lasso, which allows me to put these products prominently in the post that have prices, that have a buy now button. You can see the image, you can see a description, you can see the text, so that you're not surprised when you click the button that says buy now on Amazon for this price. You go to Amazon, oh, it is that price. I know I clicked that. Why would I click it otherwise? And then I get a commission on that. And because I'm in the pool space, the outdoor space right now, Amazon's commission rate is fairly high compared to, say, coffee, which is what I used to run. And so, yeah, 70% of the income, roughly $300,000 a year from Amazon Associates.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. And to get that, what is the traffic? What is the traffic per month with that site?
So the business is seasonal. So I need to make that clear. So in June, we do about 1 million visitors a month.
Okay.
In January, maybe 450,000.
Okay.
Yeah. So
it fluctuates.
Yeah. So I say that we average about 400,000 to 500,000 visitors a month if we extrapolate the math out.
Very good. Okay.
Yeah.
I think this is all good. Good if people want to get into
10 plus years though of trial and error and beating it up.
Takes time.
It takes time. I will say though, for a less, depressing and time frame story, I was able to repeat this process. So obviously all these 10 years, I learned all this SEO stuff. I learned how to build a website. I learned all about content, how to research content. And I wanted to repeat that in a different industry, a harder industry. And so I chose coffee because I was interested in coffee. And again, did no prior research to see if other companies were doing this, what my competition was, because I knew that if I looked at other companies and their competition, I would be like, well, they did it better. I'll just sit home. I'm not going to do it, but I decided to try coffee. And in 2 years, we were able to get up to 100,000 visitors a month, publishing 1 article a week. That's it. So we had 100 articles in 2 years, and we were at 100,000 visitors a month.
This just shows the importance of how important it is to push articles out, really.
And that was with no keyword research. So we did technical SEO on the site. We did no keyword research. That wasn't on purpose. That was just me being like, I want to know things about coffee. I bet people are searching for this, and had I done it with more keyword research prior to writing the articles, we would have been much faster.
I'm thinking about this as we're talking, and I've had my website since 2009, so it'll be 10 years in December.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be willing to bet all the coffee that you ever linked to. I don't think I've had 100,000 people visit that site in 10 years. And you're talking about 100,000 a month in under 2 years.
Yeah.
On average. Wow. That's
it
awesome
really
for you and really pissing me off.
Yeah. I mean, it's a 3-step process. It starts with building a very good website. And I do all the website design. I'm the CTO. And so if you look at any of my websites, they are crazy simple. There is not really a lot of design elements to them. They may look designed, but they're a custom theme. They're super lightweight because everyone's on their phones. Everyone's on their phones. In fact, 75% of my audience is actually on a mobile device and they're all in their 50s. The people in their 40s and 50s that are reading the site. 30-year-olds don't have in-ground pools, let me tell you. Millennials don't have pools. So they're all reading it on their phone. So my goal is to make the website load instantly for those people. And when it loads instantly, it means don't add a bunch of design stuff. Don't add frameworks on top of frameworks and themes on top of themes just because you want it to look nice. Photos are stupid. People put photos at the top of their blog post, and it's a stock image of what? How is that helping the customer? And plus, it makes people have to scroll. So we remove that. Not to say that photos aren't important, but they better serve the how-to part. It better be a diagram. It better be, here's what a filter looks like. Here's what when we say sand filter, here's what we mean. So we got rid of a lot of that. Plus, if we do add images, we lazy load it. We use a plugin called WP Rocket. We use WP Engine as our WordPress hosting because they have aggressive caching. We use Cloudflare. These are inexpensive. I mean, I spend $25 a month, personally, I spend $100 a month on WP Engine, but then there's WP Rocket's like $40 a year and for like multiple sites, and then Cloudflare is free. With these alone, your site could load instantly fast, which obviously Google wants to serve up because everyone, again, is on a mobile device. And so it really starts with that. And when I design a website, I start with the actual blog post page. I want to make sure the text is legible. It's like little things like 18-point text, 30 line height. You know, I want the paragraphs to be nicely spaced. I want everything to be incredibly legible. And when
I've noticed that simpler the better.
Your English teacher would be so proud of you right now.
I know.
Really.
Arial font.
Just send this clip to them.
Yeah, right. That's the first step is if you have a really lightweight, lightning fast website that focuses on content on a mobile device, you're going to win. The second piece is the keyword research. Is literally like, why write something if you're looking for SEO traffic, if you're looking for Google traffic, again, it's different than social media. Yeah. But if you're looking for Google traffic, you want to, if no one's searching for your word, does your article exist? And no, it doesn't in my case. So I look for words that people are searching for. And the thing I use Ahrefs, and I know it's expensive, but there are other tools out there where you can use the 7-day trial and do just a batch research. And I look for keywords that are over 1,000 visitors a month, between 500 and 1,000 plus. And then I look for low keyword difficulty. But again, I don't really care about keyword difficulty as much because keyword difficulty relies on backlinks. And to me, I don't build backlinks. I haven't done it since 2008. And so I kind of, once you start to rank and Google's smart enough to rank you, you start getting backlinks automatically. So
I don't know what keyword difficulty is. I'm sorry.
So keyword difficulty is just a measurement in a lot of these keyword plugins or these keyword apps, keyword research apps, where they basically use a bunch of indicators to measure how difficult it would be to rank for a specific keyword. And they use, they're all different. They all have different algorithms, but essentially it's the biggest, I think one of the biggest factors is the amount of backlinks. Like, let's say you have the search engine results, right? You search the word swimming pool and you have 10 results, right? The first result, they know how many backlinks are being going to that site. So how many other websites have linked to that site. And so it gives that a weight, right? So if that has like 1,000 backlinks to it and your site has 0 backlinks, well, that's going to make the keyword difficulty very hard because you're going to have to outrank them. But I've seen in my own, work that I've been able to outrank really big sites that have massive backlinks just because I've written better things and my website loads faster than theirs. So there's a lot of other things going on. And so that's why I really just look at, are people searching for it? Bottom line, are they searching for it? Is the keyword difficulty in an acceptable, okay range? Because then it's going to make your job just a little bit easier. And then the third part of it is the actual content writing. And I have this section in my course. I have an SEO course called SEO for Bloggers, and I talk about content research. And it is a step-by-step process on how to format a blog post or how to go out and do research on what's available on the internet to create a blog post that people absolutely want to read. And it's not just about writing as many friggin' words as you can write, because a lot of people teach that. It's about writing the right amount. and the right sections and giving people what they are looking for, because honestly, that's Google's entire business model, is to serve up relevant content. Otherwise, no one would use Google. If you would type something in and it would serve you something, you're like, this sucks. I hate this. What is
Total
this?
Garbage.
Yeah. So that's their job. They're getting smarter at it every day. They don't need other websites to vote for what's good. They know what's good. And so nowadays, it's really just about having a fast and easily readable and nicely designed website, picking keywords that people are actually searching for, and then writing and building that content that is going to satiate the reader. And you win. If you do that every week,
that's cool.
You win.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. And, it might not get to the numbers that you're talking about, but even still, it depends on what the goal is.
It also depends on the niche too, because I have a home brewing site that gets 30,000 unique visitors a month because it's a home brewing site. It's a very specific site.
Different niche. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's
it's also what you sell and your goals. I mean, it's just, your Amazon site needs a lot of traffic because it's a smaller, amount of money that you make with the affiliate side.
Right. And my products too. My products make about 10 grand a month. And so those are, and I would love to just focus on that, but obviously Amazon does so well. So sure, I'm not going to say no.
Exactly.
But, I wish I could bring that up, especially with as much traffic as I'm getting. I still feel like that should be a lot more. And I'm still battle testing it to figure out how to convert better. And it's a game. You're always going to play. It's the
internet game. Exactly.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, this was super great information. Now it makes me want to go, I better get back on it. And I'm sure the audience might be saying the same thing. What I do want to end with is a couple things you've alluded to, talked about. I know one of them that I want to bring up is your Lasso product, because you mentioned it and it looks cool. So I want to hear more about that. And then just any other programs and where best to find you.
Talk about their podcast for a minute too, for sure.
Yeah. Podcast too. We have so many things still.
Okay. So basically, if you're interested in affiliate marketing and you want to convert, your links are not converting, whether you use Amazon or literally any other affiliate program on earth, I recommend checking out Lasso. I built the product 4 years ago for just me. It was just on my website. And it was a way for me to display affiliate links with prices and images. And I could do all kinds of, if you've ever been to Wirecutter, it's just one of the biggest affiliate sites on the planet. They have these nice boxes where they have ratings and stuff. That's what Lasso is going to be able to do for you. And I built that for myself. I teamed up with my buddy who I run the podcast with, and he's a programmer. And so we built Lasso so that everybody could use it, not just, built in hard coded to my theme. And so it's really just an affiliate link manager, and it allows you to add affiliate links to your blog posts very quickly without going into each and every blog post and just adding blog posts one at a time. You can do it all in this plugin. Got it. Yeah, okay, it's really powerful, but it's a advanced, it's a premium plugin. It's a SaaS product. We're looking at it as a SaaS product, and it will make you money. It has made me money. I've seen the conversion rates go up. And if you are making $100 a month and you want to make $500 a month, I highly recommend that you get into it.
Okay, cool.
My podcast is Money Lab. My site is moneylab.co. All I do there at moneylab.co is I do this stuff out loud, and I talk about what I'm doing, and I don't teach. So I basically, I recently looked at my YouTube channel that I'd had on some university for many years, and I completely did this optimization experiment. I bought this guy's course. I went in, learned it, and then I took everything that I learned and I documented my entire process on how I updated the entire YouTube channel, and then shared all the revenue numbers that followed. And that's what I do for everything. I built a course in 7 days, a video course in 7 days. I document the entire process and how much money was made at the end. And I do that, probably about once a month. It's very long, very detailed articles, and they're all updated in real time. So if you subscribe, you get these here's what I just did. I just updated this huge thing. This worked, this didn't work. And I don't try to spin things as like, oh, I tried this thing, it didn't work. But you know what? I learned a valuable lesson. It's like, no, that sucked. I hated it. I'm never doing that again. I want to quit the internet, but all right, here's the next experiment, because I'm addicted and I can't, I love it so much. So, and in on Money Lab, my friend and I, and some guests, we have guests on to have conversation about a very specific topic and where it's really in depth. It's not like we're trying to educate anybody. We're like, me and the other person are really just talking about something very specific. Now, if you're interested in any of the SEO stuff I talked about, we did an episode with my editor-in-chief, Michelle Lowry, and that episode's called like something about editorial SEO, and it's like one of our most popular episodes. And it's just her and I talking about our entire process on Swim University and how we go about doing editorial SEO, which is more of the content research side and formatting. And yeah, I think that's everything.
Cool. So
you're in the pool.
Yeah. Oh, in the pool. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So the main sites that our audience would be interested in would be moneylab.co.
Yep.
Correct?
Moneylab.co. Yep.
.co. And then getlasso.co was your okay.
Yeah. If you're interested in affiliate marketing and you want to step up your game, yeah, Get Lasso is the product. And that's on sale at Money Lab as well.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, yeah,
cool.
Moneylab.co is a good place to go.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. And I have one last question because now that I'm looking at it, it's really bugging me. Why'd you go with .co, not .com?
Because some friggin' jagoff in Florida owns moneylab.com, and I wanted to buy it from him. I hope he's not listening, because I want to buy it from him. I wanted to buy it from him. He wanted $70,000, and I'm like, no. I was like, I'll give you 1,000. He was like 70. I was like, okay. He countered with the same price. I've seen recently he's dropped it to 30. So clearly there's wiggle room. And he said, oh, I'm thinking about doing a crypto site. So, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to go, all right, well, I already outrank you for the word. Like anybody who types it in is not going to, I'm like, just sell it to me. I'll give you 2,500. I'll give you 5,000. He's like 30. All right. Okay. You want money or not?
Huh.
Clearly he wanted 70, but he was like, I got enough. I own the brand Money Lab, so it's not like anyone's going to really be able to do anything with it.
Very interesting. Yeah, that's why I'm janetjohnson.com, because when I started my business, janetjohnson.com was $10,000. And I'm like, let's add the E and I can pay $10.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Try Bean, baby, because Terry Bean already existed.
Exactly. You got to get creative. But I just thought that was interesting. Awesome. Well, this was really, really great content, Matt. I love all your products. I think everything you're doing is fantastic. Sticking with it as long as you did. Back in the day, I bought domains and didn't stick with it and blah, blah, blah. I hear these stories and it just makes my head go, oh,
me too.
If only.
I have those too. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So this is great. So I appreciate your time, Matt. And any last, we love to end with one tip that somebody could take action on in the next 24 hours that would, let's say, just increase their SEO power or whatever. What would one tip be?
Write something.
Easy enough. That's a love it.
Update something from the sound.
There you go.
Yeah, that too. Still writing.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's
Awesome.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for your time. Have a good one.
Yeah, take it easy.